Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mrs. Ayomiko Amuberry. For the environmental impact assessment of the proposed blue seal chemical blending plant project at the Martin blue seal chemical road, the Juleki local government, Lagos State. So we have, not just because I don't have so much time. For the background, the chemical and chemical products are integral to modern life, significantly impacting both household and industrial activities. They play crucial roles in water and waste treatment, agriculture, and various industrial applications, including chemical and agrochemicals. Despite their importance, many chemicals are imported, leading to substantial revenue losses and economic opportunities for countries like Nigeria, which is a major consumer of such products. In 2019, Nigeria's chemical importation was over $1.4 billion, but the process was hampered by delays, high costs, and other logistical challenges. This development project is subject to an environmental impact assessment to evaluate its potential environmental and socio-economic impact compliance with Nigeria and Lagos State environmental regulations requirements, which includes site visits, data collection, and analysis. This study will help identify and mitigate negative impacts, ensuring that the project is implemented with consideration of environmental and social factors. This assessment is a key decision-making tool to select the most sustainable approach for the project. The objectives for this EIA is to conduct a baseline survey of the ecosystem structure and other environmental assets in the proposed project area, so as to provide reference data based on the existing environmental conditions. Also, identify and assess potential impacts likely to result from the operations of the facility. Another objective is to identify existing environmental regulations that will affect the project and advise on standards and approvals. To identify also and recommend mitigation measures to minimize and ameliorate the unavoidable negative impacts of the project and increase beneficial impacts. And then finally is to recommend a cost-effective and efficient long-term environmental management plan for the lifespan of the project, which includes monitoring, compliance, auditing, safety, and contingency planning in line with the EMA's ISO 14000 standards. The scope of this study is within and around 1 kilometer radius of the proposed project location. However, the scope generally observed for the study includes the following: the description of the proposed project, associated works together with the requirements for carrying out the proposed project, identification and description of the elements of the community and environment likely to be affected by the proposed project and likely to cause adverse impacts to the proposed project, including both the natural and man-made environment, identification and quantification of emission sources, and determine the significance of impacts on sensitive receivers and potential affected users. For the legal and administrative framework, we have considered it as the national, state, and also the local government. I'll just rush through one or two of them. For national, we have the EIA Act 86 of 1992, which was amended by EIA Act E12 Element 2004 and Regulation 2021. And then Labor Acts Element 2004. For state, we have the Lagos State Environmental Management and Protection Law 2017 and others, and the Ibejuleki Local Government Bylaws. For the International Convention treaties, we have, amongst others, International Health Regulation. The benefits of the project shall be the provision of affordable chemicals for domestic and industrial applications, revenue generation of employment opportunities, provision of support for local businesses, protection of the environment, enhancement to boost the local economy. The value of the project is costed at about 1.5 billion 500 million naira. And this includes the cost of acquisition of all necessary permits, approval, conduct of studies, including EIA, mobilization of machinery, equipment, construction of temporary structures or campsites, and other recurring expenditures. Expectedly, the project will be funded through loan facilities and equity. All in all, the bulk of the total value of the project, about 70%, will be injected into the local economy, bringing about an overall net positive benefit to the nation's economy. Envisage project sustainability. For the environmental sustainability, the use of standards and technologies that minimize environmental, social, and health impacts, application of the best available technology throughout the project, monitoring environmental conditions during all project phase, incorporating energy saving measures to address climate change, minimizing CO2 emissions with efficient equipment use, adhering to the report's recommendations and environmental management plan to reduce environmental impacts. For social sustainability, the project emphasizes social impact and community engagement to meet business goals and enhance Assessment Dpt reputation. The key social sustainability measures include hiring local residents, implementing a CSR scheme to support community needs, ensuring the project supports the community's well-being, maintaining ongoing stakeholder consultation throughout the project, and engagement with the Oregon community will continue throughout the project's life. The project options: we have no project. It was not considered, the late project not considered. To go ahead with the project is considered. Sorry. The project alternatives. In the selection of project alternatives, due consideration was given to the cost effectiveness, environmental friendliness, sustainability for the particular project area. However, the alternatives that were considered before selection include alternative technology and site location. For the alternative location, Lagos State particularly, the Lekki axis is a rapidly growing area with significant industrial development, including the LXA. Relocating the proposed project will lead to environmental issues like traffic congestion, air pollution, and security problems. In contrast, alternative locations like Ikorodu or Ekwe lack the infrastructure and financial feasibility required for the project. Therefore, the current site in Oregon community is deemed optimal for its economic and environmental benefits, pending from the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Description of the project environment has been handled by my partner here.
What she handled is the project itself. Describe the environment for us. That's where you are.
Go back.
No, you don't need this. We are done with this now. So this is where you are here.
I've talked about the objectives of the rural school.
Go ahead. Next one.
So the scope of the study shall include field studies and data collection for characterization.
If you are comfortable sitting, I think you should sit.
Field studies and field data. Field studies and data collection for characterization of the baseline conditions of the proposed project environment covered in following: climate and meteorology, air quality and noise levels, geology, hydrogeology, soil sediment, geophysical survey, wildlife and vegetation, land use, socioeconomic, demography and community characteristics, public health, and stakeholders consultation. The study area for the AI encompasses the potential area of influence of the project, where significant effects on visibility for either independent or combination with other developments. To ensure all sensitive sectors potentially impacted by the project, 1 kilometer radius around the project site was designated for about physical sampling, while the socioeconomic survey covered a 1.5 kilometer radius. We have here the geographical coordinates of field sampling locations. The environmental components considered are air quality, groundwater, and then soil quality. For air quality, there were 5 sampling points, of which we have 1 control. It's actually 4 sampling points and 1 for control. For groundwater, we have 3 sampling points and 1 for control. While for soil quality, we have 3 sampling points and 1 control point. These are the coordinates. So this is the satellite imagery of the sampling points for all the environmental components considered. The highlights in green is the project, in red is the project area, and those pins, yellow pins are the sampling points.
You use the same pins for all the parameters?
Yes, the same pins are.
Okay, go ahead. I would suggest maybe subsequently if you have some presentations, except for locations that you took the same parameters from, if you have the same pin, anyone that is different. For example, if you have surface water, there's no surface, if you have soil, you can use a red pin or a green pin.
Okay.
If you have air quality and noise, you can use the same pin because those ones will be taken from the same location.
Okay, sir. Noted. But what we actually did here is that for the sampling points, the colors are different. It's just the paints that we didn't shade. For the air quality and noise study, sampling points were chosen based on World Bank criteria to ensure representative, and key factors included predominant wind direction, airflow, distance from place, distance from roadways. Additionally, a control sampling point is located in Folu community in the Lekki local government area.
How far is Folu community? Baba,
It's
Emo Ilu Teje Folu? Báwo yìí jìnnà sí yín tó? Té ó tó bí báyìí sí.
Just like only maybe 30 minutes.
Is that not outside of the 1.1? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Okay.
15 minutes drive covers 30 kilometers.
And so if your spatial boundary is 1.5 kilometers, so how I wanted to know how far did you go out of your spatial boundary to pick, the controls, and that's what I'm just trying to picture. It's okay, ma. Sorry for the interruption.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The equipment used for the air quality, the measured parameters for air quality and equipment used for particulate matter. Let me just go to the next slide. Because of time. So these are some of the equipments used for noise and air quality. And then this table shows the methods used for groundwater analysis. Please allow me to go to the next slide. These are pictures during sampling. We have water sampling here, groundwater sampling here. And then this table shows the methods for soil determination. And for the four sampling points for air quality and 1 control, we have for CO, we have values between 0.3 pp, between 0.0 ppm and then 0.38. For noise level, in all the sampling points, we had levels between 52 and 70. This table also shows the groundwater results. So for the soil results, and then the socioeconomic survey in in the host community aims to assess social impacts and health by using various methods. The methods include reviewing existing information, administering structured questionnaires, conduction of field visits for stakeholder interactions, and applying social science and participatory appraisal techniques. Questionnaires were distributed to stakeholders within 1.5 kilometer radius of the project area, and the collected data was analyzed to ensure comprehensive public participation. A total of 100 questionnaires were administered to the stakeholders, and then between some were community elders, some were youth. We also considered women and then local workers. Of all the questionnaires administered, out of the 100 questionnaires administered, we retrieved 93 back.
And how does it amount to 100%?
For the
That is an error.
presented, yes. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So these are just a graphical illustration of the sampled population in the project area, and also the marital status and household distribution of those that were interviewed. This also is a religious orientation of respondents. That's right.
So, wait, go back to religious orientation.
Okay.
Which one is high?
The high,
It's male.
Muslim.
So in that community there are no Muslims, I mean.
Yes.
Baba,
Based on the study.
ṣé bó ṣe rí lọ́dọ̀ yìí nìyẹn? Afẹ́mọ̀ bí àwọn bí a bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn, àwọn Mùsùlùmí pọ̀ ju àwọn wọ́n yẹ kí wọ́n fẹ́ máa gbára mí báyìí.
So the ethnicity of the respondents had major tribes like Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and other tribes. We had more of Yoruba, particularly the Yoruba Ijebus. These are just some pictures of the region of respondents in the area, and then the health facility in the area. This is this should be at Akudu, General Hospital Akudu. So for health study, the EIE study revealed that common illnesses mentioned include rheumatism, arthritis, malaria, typhoid, cough, skin conditions, diarrhea, pneumonia, and respiratory infections. Lifestyle-related diseases such as hypertension, heart attack, diabetes, and liver diseases are also prevalent. Focus group discussions revealed no reported cases of HIV or AIDS in the community, in the locality.
That's focus group discussion. How did they? Go ahead.
Okay. For the potential and associated impacts of the proposed projects, for the identification of these impacts and screening, a modified local matrix is used for the identification and screening. The matrix arrays project activities against environmental components and supports a methodical, comprehensive, and objective identification of the impacts each project activity may have on each biophysical, socio-economic, and health components. These are some of the impacts. We have biophysical impacts, socio-economic impacts, health and study, health and safety impacts. And then for biophysical impact, we have increase in noise nuisance, reduction in air quality. For socioeconomic, there will be more pressure on existing infrastructures like road and then employment. And all these impacts are rated low. What I explained earlier was from the construction phase. But for the construction phase, we have activities like land clearing, foundation piling, excavation, compaction, fuel consumption, waste generation, and transportation. And the safe impacts are with the biophysical, and socioeconomics. For the biophysical, we have reduction in biodiversity, alteration of natural soil profiles, soil degradation, and soil or groundwater contamination. We also have increase in noise nuisance, reduction in air quality, and solid waste generation. For the socioeconomics, there shall be pressure on existing infrastructure, stress on existing security structure, influx of people, job creation, business opportunity, economic growth, improvement of existing infrastructure, and skill acquisition. For the operation, we have our physical impacts, socioeconomic impacts, and all these impacts are also rated low. For the positive impacts, we have provision of affordable. This is just highlights of the positive impacts. Provision of affordable essential chemicals for domestic and industrial application, generation of direct and indirect employment and income, protection of the environment, contribution to government revenue, economic growth and investment, improved security and social amenities. The residual and cumulative impacts shall be for residual impacts shall be landfill. Cumulative impacts will be on air pollution, increased traffic, and ecosystem stress. Mitigation measures for the perceived impacts at different stages of the project, that is for pre-construction, construction and operation phase. For pre-construction, the impact on air. The mitigation measures shall be that BSCPP shall ensure that measures be put in place to reduce dust, such as water suppression, shall be used where possible. Regular maintenance and servicing of construction equipment that contribute to air emission shall be implemented. Only modern and well-maintained equipment and machinery for construction activities shall be used at the site. Plants and equipment which will be acquired for on-site preparation of precast materials and concrete mixing will utilize the latest technology to have minimum emission. The impact on noise level. BSCPP Limited shall ensure that all equipment shall be maintained as per manufacturer's recommendations, as per original specifications. For the pre-construction phase,
you have only 5 minutes more.
Sorry, okay, thank you, sir. The following mitigation measures shall be adopted also for the pre-construction phase. I will just mention the impact on public health safety. BSCPP Limited shall ensure the following. The local communities shall be informed of the project activities prior to commencement for work. An environmental management plan too was also developed with respect to the environmental components that were considered. And then the monitoring parameters for air quality, such as SPM, CO, NOSO, methane. The responsibility for that will be implemented by BSCPP's limited project contractors, the subcontractors, and monitored by project proponent manager. I want to dwell more on waste, that is solid, sewage, and hazardous waste. The objective will be to minimize and prevent, where possible, the contamination of the water resources and to protect the sewage. So the monitoring parameters shall be visual monitoring and aesthetics of the site, and this will be done on a daily basis. The responsibility will be the project manager through normal accredited waste management contractor. For the grievance management mechanism, a fair grievance management mechanism shall be adopted and can be submitted in the following ways: by communicating the grievance complaint to the host community, who will be responsible for reporting the issue to the proponent.
Can you hold that? You are almost done. Can you hold it?
It's okay like this.
The commissioning program for the proposed projects. The proposed chemical blending facility project has been designed to last for a minimum of 20 years, after which it will be decommissioned. Generally, the decommissioning abandonment of the project shall be undertaken in line with regulatory provisions. In conclusion, the Blue Seal Chemical Production Plant Limited aims to boost local chemical production and the economy by creating jobs and adhering to environmental standards. The environmental impact assessment shows that while the facility will generate some wastewater, emissions, and noise, these can be managed effectively with proper mitigation measures. The project is expected to improve GDP, support smaller plants, and enhance local supply network without significant environmental or social issues. In view of the aforementioned, it is a humble prayer that the study and proposed project shall be duly considered for approval. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mazaka and the proponent for that presentation. So this time around, we are going to question.
Okay, thank you, Lucy. Thank you for a very elaborate presentation. So we will take comments, contributions, and observations resulting from the presentation. And then we'll give opportunity for Lucy to respond to any of those comments that may arise in the course of the presentation. So we will first start with our community representatives that are here. If they have any comment, any observation that they, with respect to the project. Akínyìnlẹ̀ kan sí ẹ̀yin bàbá wa tẹ̀wá níbà yìí. Mo ẹ̀gbẹ́ gbọ́ ìbò wọ̀nyẹ́ kí n tó sọ ní Yorùbá. Wọ́n ti fi hàn wá iṣẹ́ tó fẹ́ ṣe ní orí ilẹ̀ yìí lágbègbè yìí. So ó dẹ̀ yẹ kó yẹ pé nígbà tí wọ́n ń ṣe ètò yìí wọ́n ti wá bá yín. Mo ti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ kò yẹ ká rí lè ní mímì wọ́n ti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ nípa iṣẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ wọn nígbà yẹn. Bóyá ẹ ní nǹkan kan láti sọ ọ̀rọ̀ kan láti sọ àbí ìmíràn nípa iṣẹ́ tó ń gbé wá sí agbègbè yìí sọ máa fún yín láǹfààní láti gbọ́ láti ọ̀dọ̀ yín. So you can help me give them the mic. Let's hear from the community before we take other people's questions or comments. Thank you.
Mr. Cameraman, you know where the mic is.
Thank you, sir. I will just try to ask some question, just a little question about the project. I will direct my question to the 3C representative. The project you are proposed to start in our community. Can you please tell us if there is what are the effects? If there is any effect that can come out later for the community, can you let us know or brief us? Because as my chairman just spoke, this occasion we are here today, we didn't even get the information better before we come. So until we get here, before we know what is going on. But as we dey here now, I would like them to let us know what is going to be the effect of the project to the community or the neighboring people around there. That's my question.
Wait, is there still anybody who wants to say something to the community?
Lucy, I hope you are noting that please note all the comments. You will be given an opportunity to respond. Okay, any comments from participants online? Any question? No. Okay. From participants here, do we have any question or comment before we go to the secretariat and then the panelists?
Yes, sir.
Are you a participant? Okay, Mr. Lazis.
Lucy, adjoining your environment is one of the most important resources. The stormwater management, we have the stormwater management plan because the community you are in now is not fully developed. The rainwater system, everything has not been fully designed by the Office of Drainage Services. So, what is your plan for stormwater management within your facility and discharge into the neighboring water body? Thank you.
Any other question from the participant this week? Okay, let's go to the secretariat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation, both for the technical and environmental components. I think one of the essence of this presentation is to allow the stakeholders have an understanding of the project. I need stakeholders who do not have access to the reports. And I've gone through the reports, and you cover a lot in that report. But for the presentation, I need some clarification, and I also want to make some comments. You listed the various project components and the land take of that project. But I was expecting you to also tell us the land budgets of this component. We have your digester, we have your building, we have your car park. So what's the quantity of land, the size of land each of this component will take? Although you capture everything in your report, but I was expecting you to also project that one for us. Again, in assessing that site, for people who don't know that area very well, I'm used to that area, but for those who don't understand how to navigate through that site, I was expecting that we also present the map of Nigeria and that of Lagos State and that of the regulatory indicating where that project is sited. But I didn't see that there. Then again, I also, having done your report, I also know that you did a lot on your waste management. But I also expecting you to also just give a synopsis, the waste estimates of that project in terms of emission, during construction, operation, and the likes. Then again, the communities are here. I was also expecting that you will tell us the perception of the community on that project. It is true that you have consulted them, because if you do not consult them, you would have been here. but if you, it's also your own duty to tell us their perception on that project. So we did see that. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. My own question is actually good. Number one, looking at your presentation, the architectural design of what the project will look like, it was not clearly stated. Number one. Number two, how was the place actually identified for that project? Okay, this place, this is what we want to use. How was it identified? That is number two. Number three, the CSR wasn't clearly stated.
They said they would do assessment.
Okay, then the project is it under construction or completed? Under construction. What is the level of construction? What level are we now presently?
Yeah, you will not report that.
Okay. Then in your slide, at some point we actually talk about economic, social, and health impacts. The question is, how were they measured? Number four, the land that was the construction is actually going on, is it a vacant land or actually a place that was destroyed and you start construction? Is it a vacant land or it was a place, there was a building here before? That one wasn't stated. And another question is this. The health and safety of the workers on site. There was no proper clarity as regards that. So thank you.
Anyone still on the secretariat? Okay. So bring the flight number again.
Engineer.
Good morning, everyone. During the presentation, during the presentation for the operational procedure, both for the plant and the effort, you do not give us a simplified diagram and show us this is what we want to do and it's simplified. Then secondly, you mentioned that you want to construct drainages, like Mr. Assisi has said. Did you have a drainage impact assessment report? I don't think so. Then did you have a sign off from the Ministry of Environment, the Office of Unit Services, for your discharge of stormwater?
I hope you are noting that, man. Okay.
Thank you very much, Lan. I have some few questions here. Number one, during your presentation, you said wastewater will be discharged into the water body. I want to know how far is the distance between your facility and the water body, and how do you ensure that the water you are discharging does not spill along the line into the community. Number two, you said you consulted Oregon community and you take control point at Tolu community. Is Tolu community within the 1.5 kilometer area of influence of your study? And was Tolu community consulted during the stakeholders engagement? Then during your technical presentation, you did not mention the process of manufacturing of your chemical, whether it's going to be a continuous process or a batch process or automated process. You did not say anything. There was no flow chart at all to show the process and the production line of the chemical. You did not mention anything about emission control, spill prevention and response plan, and there was nothing on occupational health hazard for workers. Can you clarify on those?
Any comments? Okay.
So thank you very much for
for the questions and the comments. I think they just shows that we were following when the presentations were being made. Just to add a few things as part of my own observation on the presentation. For the technical presentation, which was my own concern, because as a chemist, I'm interested in your production process. I'm interested in your raw materials and what comes out of it. I was, like the engineer said, I was looking out for a flow chart. A flow chart that shows us how you move from your raw material to your product. I wasn't seeing that. I was expecting to see that, and I was expecting to see, are you introducing anything along the line in the flow chart? So you need to, I hope that is in the report. If it is not, it's important that we have a flow chart, because it's a production process that will clearly describe the process. That is one. Number two, your operational phase, you will need between 100 and 250 workforce, according to the presentation. How do you intend to sustain? How much of this workforce will be coming from the local community? And what level of qualifications will they require? Let's just have an idea, so that we will know whether this community is hosting you to get any benefit, or they are just hosting for hosting's sake. Some years ago, maybe some of us were still in primary school or nursery school. The Egbe community gave out their land, even though they were giving compensation, Egbe and Ijede community, for the Egbe power plant. So they were hosting one of the largest power plants in Lagos, in Nigeria, but they were not having light. And so you can imagine that you are beside a well and you can't find water to drink until that was resolved. So we want to know, will you go and bring workers from another place? I'm not saying give work to those who are not qualified. I hope you get what I'm saying. You can't employ people who are not qualified. But it's important we know how we intend to source this workforce. And number two, you give us how long it will take for each of the phases: construction, 18 months, reconstruction, 18 months, operational phase. We didn't know how long it would take for you to decommission the plant. In other words, I'm asking for what is the lifespan of the facility. Your EIA report says, the EIA presentation says 20 years, but it says minimum. So what is the maximum? It says minimum of 20 years. That means that minimum is, you can still go as far as 50 years. So how long will it take for the facility to be considered for the commissioning? But you have even told commissioning will probably be to upgrade. So at what point will you be considering upgrade of technology? Do you have to wait for 20 years if there's a new technology that comes in 5 years? Because your EI report has already put you in a tight corner saying that minimum you must operate it for at least 20 years before you can think of upgrading any technology. I think you need to be flexible about the commissioning, and I don't think you should use the word decommissioning as rigid as it is. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Okay. 250 kVA plus a 100 kVA generator, all on diesel. Great pollution. 250 kVA, 100 kVA, generator of 350 kVA in capacity, all on diesel. We think that if Blue Sea is going to be environment friendly, Blue Sea should begin to consider, if possible, having a captive power of maybe 0.5 megawatts on CNG. It's just a suggestion. 500 kVA on CNG. Because what you will be emitting from this capacity of generator is adding to the pollution of that environment. You are going to be they're supposed to commence with a response from Blue Sea. So I would like to hand over the mic to Blue Sea to give us response or responses as the case may be before we go into the other session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Also, I would like to apologize to the community representatives for the miscommunication or improper communication as to the purpose for the meeting. Our contact person was sent the letter as received from the ministry. I didn't know, he didn't communicate adequately to you guys. My sincere apologies. First, your question says, you want to know any effect on the community that's in future, if there will be any probably health effect. Let me start from there. Our major products are sodium hypochlorite, sodium hydroxide, and ferric chloride. During the COVID-19 pandemic, chlorine was a major disinfectant in terms of controlling bacteria in the atmosphere and the environment. Sodium hypochlorite is more like the bleach you use to wash and disinfect your house. So that would not pose any adverse effect on the community. The major issue would be the ferric chloride, should there be any exposure. But we're going to put controls in place which you can come and verify in the factory. I think it's within your neighborhood. You can come in to see the testing processes in place to make sure that those effluents are not exposed to the environment. You are free to come in anytime. Thank you. For the stormwater management, yes, we are going to drain, what they call, construct drainage lines for stormwater. But like you rightly put to us, we haven't actually met with the Ministry of Environment or Drainage Management System. So we are going to commence that discussion to ensure that all approvals are received. You asked a question on the perception of the community. I would say we've had a very cordial relationship with the community right from the very beginning. The journey was really very tough for us in the beginning in terms of the acquisition of the land, but by the help of the Valley, we were able to secure those lands. And so we don't intend to hamper that relationship for any reason. As to if the community will be engaged, yes, in my slide I stated that at least 50% of the workforce will be engaged from the community. And there's the plan to train the community workers. We're also looking at providing at least borehole water for the community so they can have clean and affordable water. The question of architectural design, my colleague is trying to pull that up so we can at least display something. For the flow chart, before we're done with this meeting, I would come up with the flow chart for the production process, at least so we can understand each of those phases and some of the controls we have put in place to ensure zero exposure to the environment. In terms of manufacturing, we are going to manufacture in batches. We're going to manufacture in batches, and we don't intend to sell to consumers. We intend to supply factories. And question was asked to why we chose the Bejileki area. Yes, it was cited because of the Dangote refinery. Dangote has been a loyal customer to Blue Seal over these years in terms of purchasing our chemicals for cleaning their factories and process mines. So we intend to retaliate in terms of our base chemicals for the products will be coming from the Dangote refineries, which are byproducts from the production lines.
You having their byproducts as your raw material?
Yes, sir. So that's the intention. So it's close to Dangote. The factory is located just after the Dangote refinery, after Kellogg production factory too. So that's the essence while the factory was located there. Concerning the CNG, I didn't put that up because it's a future plan. We are actually developing our own CNG plant in collaboration with what the federal government is currently doing as regards CNG. So it's not going to be immediate, it's going to be in our future plan. The truth is, if we want to start up with CNG, we may not be able to sustain it in terms of costing. So we're looking at our future plans for it. For occupational health of the workers, there is a robust plan. We currently have not started, but the plan is we would have a retainership hospital, we will have site nurses and safety officers to ensure strict adherence to safety protocols and systems. We have also started process of obtaining ISO certification. That's the ISO 9001 certification, which is for the environment, which is critical for any chemical manufacturing plant. So that process is ongoing, and we hope that we'll complete in earnest. We've also started processes with NAFDAC to ensure that the processes are also standardized with current regulatory standards. I don't know if any of my colleagues have any response so far. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Enema Omale. There are so many questions that were asked. I just want to add one or two to what my colleague has already said. You know, concerning the race home, we already, just as she has said, the consultant has already been contacted and is currently working on it. So once we are done with that, the community will also be part of it, because we are working on the drainage and the access road together, which will also link to the community. Because the road that even link to the community is already been adopted by us. So we are going to carry on everything together. One of us here asked a question concerning the sizes of the area. We already have the size of the area being mentioned before, but we have a parking space, a parking lot of about 1,000 square meters for the park. We have a storage area of about 1,600 square meters. We have production area of about 300 square meters and packaging area of about 156 square meter area. And we have a simulation area and showroom, which is about 88 square meters. So these are just
in that your land budget. I didn't see any green area. Just the land budget now. I mean, no green area.
We have.
Please go back and put a green area.
We have because we are able to load follow the design of that.
No, I understand. But from what you have mentioned now,
Okay, from what I've
mentioned now,
okay.
if I go by what you mentioned now, there is no green area.
Yes,
That's
there
the
is.
But I know that there will be green area.
I got it. I didn't put it together when I was getting all of this. Thank you so much.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Steven Nduka Idura, like I said. Just to add to what my colleague said, in the area of CNG and the AGO, I know that is of utmost concern to you because of the emission and how it affects the community. At the moment, we intend to roster with the AGO generator. But the truth is, the power consumption of the plant is around 350 kVA. But in our own plant, we have planned to bring in 500 kVA CNG generator. As I speak to you, we have received the quotation for that. But in the interim, we have about 250 kVA generator and then 100 kVA generator. And just last week here, we got a quote from Black Energy to convert it to a CNG generator. So we are very conscious of that, and we are not going to by any means hamper the community where we are working. Thank you.
Are you okay? Is that all?
Thank you. I think we should give them a round of applause. We are going to take you by your words. We will look forward to seeing you powering that system on CNG. Well, you can take off with your AGO, no problem. But on the long run, CNG is safer and cleaner than for all of us. We look forward to that. So I will look forward to seeing your factory having green areas, particularly because of any form of emissions. You know, plants are very important when it comes to serving as reservoir for pollutants. They're very important, so we would like to have that around. Even if you cannot have an area cordoned off as green, you can have perimeter, the entire perimeter of your facility green. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll go in now to the technical session where we'll take comments from the panelists based on what they read in the report. Based on what they read in the report. And these comments are meant for you to take note, to be able to make those corrections in the report. They are meant to improve the quality of the report so that we can now have a report that we are proud of. So, thank you very much. So let's start with the local government. Madam.
Good morning, sir. Chairman, representative of the Honorable Commissioner, regulators, panel and the representative of the community, the proponents and the other representatives. My name is Anabali Matt. I'm representing, I'm a regulator from Lekki LCD, Lekki. As my chairman has said earlier, the purpose of our meeting is for the chemical blending plant of by Blue Seal chemical production plant. Under in the review that was brought, there was some observation that I've been able to bring out of it. So I want the proponent to please pay attention and the first instance under that sanitary facility. I'm sorry, I don't have it on my phone, so let me go to the page. So under the, you said you have 4 stages, the construction. Now, under the construction stage, under the waste management, the construction stage, you say how you are going to manage the waste. Do you understand what I'm saying? Under the construction stage, the third stage, what's it called? The operational stage. You lay the waste management, the sanitary, the solid waste, liquid waste, everything. The management is listed there. But when it comes to the construction stage, you didn't say anything about it. And there's no way during the construction there will be liquid waste. But you make mention of solid waste a little. But the liquid waste that is going to be generated, the workers here will need sanitary components and other things. There's no mention of how this one will be done or where, how to prepare anything like that. Then under the manpower, in line 6, you said the workers will be working for 6 days. 6 days, I think should be from Monday to Saturday, but you said Monday to Friday. I don't know how, maybe you meant 5 days, from Monday to Friday. Take note of that, please check. I don't know what you mean by that. Then, on the operational stage, you made mention of the waste that is going to be generated during the operational stage. You made mention of styrofoams among other things. I think you are aware of Lagos State's regulations on styrofoam now. So I want you to take note of that. And even the electronic waste that is going to be generated, there is an international standard on how to dispose electronic waste. And I want you to also take note of that too. Then under the stakeholder consultation, in line 2, you said you met with selected few. Selected few. I don't think it should be selected few. It's either you meet with the stakeholders or the representative of the stakeholders. You cannot just select randomly in the community. You meet with the stakeholders or representative of maybe the age group, the ballet. The ballet has those people that they work together with to make the community okay. So then under the potential impact, you identify the potential impact, the noise level, dust in the air, ground water. Under the transportation, you identify the impact, but how to the mitigating measures and the safety measures to be taken. During that, you do not make them, you do not include list it at all. During transportation, we all know we are having issue there at that road now, that newly constructed road from Elekon to Lekki. Because if you go to that road, you see trailer park both left and the right side of the road. Sometimes you have to use one lane for both going in and coming back. And that one single lane we are using, you will see trailer park on the other side of the road too. So the traffic is so jam-packed that you have to wait. One vehicle will go, then you have to go again. So that's what is happening there. So you have to take note of all these things. During either the construction stage or the operational stage, especially the construction stage, that's when you will be moving your heavy equipment down. Make sure you have all these traffic control agents on ground to help you manage the traffic. Then again, you should have, I think in the evening, no, not in the, maybe during the night, the traffic there is lesser. Maybe you can use that opportunity to move the traffic along that road. Then again, under conclusion and the second paragraph, line 2, I don't know, maybe what I feel in that place is that maybe you lifted that page from another project.
I don't know how this come into that place. Operation of palm oil mill. I don't know how it will come into that page. So please check into that. And again, I think my chairman has said it earlier. I don't see any good, maybe you have it, but it's not clearly stated in your proposal that you have a good rapport with the host community. There's no CSR, no anything. I don't see in that model. It's not there to indicate you have a good rapport with them. The community, if you go to them, they will tell you what they need. We have a lot of issues there. Now, there's a community there that water has almost eroded all their houses. They don't know where to live again. So if you go to them, they'll be able to tell you what they really need in that place. When we are talking about emphasis, yes, the person that did that presentation on the health facility there, that place is not, the picture you showed is not Akodo General Hospital. It's one of the primary health care centers we have at the LCD. So please do the correction on that. And with most of you said you are going to employ the community to work in that place. If you are using them in your chemical plant, we all know the effect. You might say that you have limited effect, but there's no way you are working with chemical, you don't have effect. Even that chlorine you are talking about, too much of it has effect. So by the time you start working, I remember during that COVID you are talking about. When we open that chemical, that we want to go and make preparation for fumigation, those people selling the chemical, they will tell you, I don't used to go near it because the thing is too powerful for me. It's too powerful. I don't, with all the masks and everything, I couldn't go near it. Those people are trying to know what they go through. So in that your facility, you have your workers there. Make sure you have the essential drugs, not just any drugs, the necessary drugs for them to use. And those people in the community too, it will affect them. Have it. So you will assist the community because you are working in the community. So you have to assist them in that aspect. So and the steps I have mentioned it. So you go to the host community and they will tell you what they really need. Then the last but not least, when I go through your proposal, I see that most of the speech, the way you, the sentence there is third party sentence. You present the project as if you are not really involved. As if you are just talking about somebody else. It's your project. It's your project, so you be involved in it. Like the use of you made the same mistake when you are doing presentation, that the chemical, there is likelihood to be chemical waste generated. It's not likely, it's going to be generated. We are going to generate, the plant is going to generate the chemical waste. Then how do you go about it? How do you go about correcting that? How do you go about mitigating it? That's what we want to know. Do you understand my statement there? So you get involved. Because those people in the community, they are human beings. They will feel the effect more than you will be going in the community. But then we are in that community. So we know what's going on there. So I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Deputy. Ẹjọ́ ọmọ èlé tó máa gbogbo lẹ́nu láyé nílé ìwáṣẹ́ pàṣẹ tẹ́lú. Look for their facility manager. sọ tèmi jáde. Kọ́lá, Olúwandé.
Take the battery. Hey, bros. Please, project them again. The ground floor.
Engineer, please, for your comments.
Thank you very much. I'll be back. Please, I would like to sit down. Sorry, please. Some of the things I wanted to mention. Madam,
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
So the plant is a chemical blending plant, which we expect to have solid, liquid, and gaseous emission. So the process as the operation, when you start the operation, we expect to generate some chemical waste in your stream. However, you are proposed that you use a biological treatment to treat the chemical waste. If you introduce the stream, the sodium chlorate to the digester, you are activating the bacteria in the digester. That is one. So you need to come up with another system of effluent treatment plant.
Do you understand? You are using an effluent treatment plant that is going to use a biological process. The product you are producing is hypochlorite. Have you? Which and with some residues likely to remain in the waste stream. You are going to send that waste stream into a biodigester that is going to be using microorganisms. Have you? So naturally, the chlorine in the hypochlorite should deactivate the. So go ahead, sir.
Second, your domestic waste management. In one part of the report, I think 3.5 and 3.5, they are contradicting each other. One is saying that you use a facility, the government's accredited waste contractor that will come and carry out the waste. Another part is saying that you have a biological treatment that will treat the domestic waste. Meanwhile, according to the Lagos State Environmental Management Profession for 2017, any facilities that we have above 50 people or a multi-story facility, we expect to have a sewage treatment plant to make the correction of that. We don't know what just in the report. Then, we are expected to generate emission. In the report, we say fugitive. What's the meaning of fugitive? A minute amount. However, we do not say over a period of time. This is what we tend to do. Carry out the test to see what is happening in the emission of digest emission. On your drainage, yes, you want to construct drainage. Lagos government have a drainage master plan that captures, you have the primary channel, secondary collector, and tertiary. What you have your taste is tertiary. According to the image system that you should be very that, and as if there's a wet language that's near to you, I don't know, but the drainage master plan tells you where the shortages you can start your storm water.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was good for you.
Thank you, sir. We will take the comments from the ministry, but for the sake of time, I will urge the secretary to just give us a few comments. I know you have a long list of comments, please. So I won't sleep here because of comments. Because these comments are going to be compiled in hard copy and handed over to the consultant to make the corrections in the report. So, Secretariat.
Good morning, everyone. Comment from the review of the draft environmental impact assessment report for the proposed chemical blending plant at Block A, Plot 120, Blue Seal Chemical Road, Oregon Community, Vejulek Local Government Area. In Chapter 1, under the legal and administrative framework, the laws referenced are quite comprehensive. It's however noted that some of the laws are repeated, like the Climate Change Act 2010. This should be looked into and addressed accordingly. Then under Chapter 2, under technological sustainability, taking into consideration the fact that the technology that will be employed is the blending of chemicals, it is expected that the various blending techniques are clearly identified, while the particular one to be adopted is clearly stated. In Chapter 3, under the project implementation schedule, it is provided in the third column that the implementation period based on 70 years lifespan. However, looking at the Gantt chart physically, it is noted that the implementation period span between 2024 to 2084, which is 60 years, as against the 70 years provided in the chart. This discrepancy should be corrected accordingly. Chapter 4, under subsection 4.41 on page 68, it is mentioned that sampling locations were determined using recent satellite imagery of the project area. The question here is, how recent is the satellite imagery to determine the sampling location? This should be clearly stated. Other comments will be harmonized with the panelists' report. Will the panelists' comments are sent to the meeting.
Thank you. Because I say you shouldn't waste our time. You just choose not to even take the time at all. Okay. Okay, a few comments from me, and then I don't know if you have any comments, and then we can excuse you to go for the day. Number one, please pay attention to what Engineer Olu just said on your treatment of your chemical waste. We will not allow a situation where we have a chemical waste not properly managed and we have any form of percolation into the soil or into the groundwater aquifer. That will not be accepted. So it is important to see, what happens. I recall that some years ago, we were looking at trying to resuscitate what used to be Odua facility, this waste treatment plant somewhere there, and we were considering to use microorganisms as treatment agents. Fantastic idea. But we now look at the various effluents from the various facilities, the characteristics of the various effluents from the various facilities, so that the microbes cannot be effective on some of the effluents. As a matter of fact, when some of the effluents get into that stream, some of the microbes will disappear because of the high level of chlorine that is coming from those effluents. So it is important that you consider this again and see how efficient it will be. I hope I'm communicating now. In any case, LASEPA will come after you for ETP. They will come after you. Now, what is the lifespan of this facility? Discrepancies. Minimum 20 years, maximum not stated. Project schedule 70 years. In the chart, 60 years. So what exactly is the lifespan of this project? That needed to be sorted out in the report, so that we won't have a situation whereby They asked someone some time ago, when were you born? He just said on a market day. Which market day? He said there is a market they used to go to that time in their place. His parents told him it's on that market day. So how old are you? If you remember that market day, that is the age that I have. So we need to clear that. Okay, you have promised us to let us have the flow chart. You don't need to show us now. Let it be in the report so that we can, anybody who takes that report can see your processes. We are also hoping that you manage all your solid waste, apart from the chemical waste, all your solid waste effectively, particularly by patronizing approved PSP operators. We encourage you to extend your consultation to secondary stakeholders, not just your primary stakeholders who are which are your community. Secondary stakeholders like the local government where you are currently residing. It is important that you extend your consultation to them so that they will know that you are existing. We, however, also appeal to the local government not to think that you are in the local government to come and do their jobs for them. It is not the job of the companies to produce the roads and produce the light and produce the water. But you can do that for communities to support them as your CSR. So where we normally have conflicts is that sometimes communities think that it is the responsibility of the company who has come to do business and make money to build schools. Some of them help them to get new wives and probably build their houses for them. It doesn't work that way. However, we encourage you to meet with them to know what their needs are within your CSR budget. Does that make sense, ma'am? I didn't see your HSC person here today. You have an HSC unit. Eh? Yes, sir. Now, for us, the HSC person is very critical to that facility. And we encourage that you have a functional HSC unit with qualified personnel. We had a review here yesterday. I said that I must see the HSC personnel at the review. If I knew you were not going to come with one, I would have insisted that you must come with one. We have this understanding that companies think that HSC people only request for money to spend. Now, we must understand that our health, our safety, and our environment is key. In other climes where environmental compliance is measured for patronage, if you play with your environmental performance, you won't have people patronizing your product. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So please don't treat our HSC personnel, I use the word our because it's a professional colleague. Don't treat our HSC personnel as if they are just one of those boys that must wear apron or reflective jackets and just stand at the gate. And when a new person comes to do orientation, this how to wear glove and this and that is all they are for. No, they are the ones keeping you safe in that place. Madam, you are looking at me. Good. Okay, so thank God. So you are welcome. So it's important that you pay attention to that. And lastly from me, before we go, I've not heard from you. What was the status of that site before you began construction? This Oga asked it. Was it a green field or a brown field? A green field. It was a virgin land. You cleared everything. That's violation of the EIA process. We will give you a letter conveying how much fine you are going to pay for violating our process. Are you aware of that? That is a violation. So what do you want to say?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. The truth is, we are aware it's a violation, but we were ignorant from the beginning.
Ignorant of the law.
Yes, so we later submitted ourselves.
To the law.
Yes, sir. So I will say tamper justice with mercy. Thank you.
Okay, we will tamper justice with mercy, particularly to encourage you to complete, because you have come to subject the project to the process. We will overlook the violation and ensure that you complete the process. On this note, I want to say thank you to the Honorable Commissioner's Rep. Thank you very much. Panelists, thank you very much. And thank you to Lucy for putting yourself in the process and following through to this stage. Secretariat, thank you for a good job. Any announcements? Secretariat, any announcement?
Okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Financial. So, in line with what we have on the agenda, gradually we are coming to the end of today's technical review. But before we discharge the proponent and the consultant to take their leave and have the closed session, we are going to have a formal closing remark. And I would like to call on. Okay, I've been directed that I should call on Mrs. Akitoye Okaya Oluwakemi to give the closing remark.
On behalf of the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, I want to thank esteemed member of the high table for their presence here. I want to thank the proponents for subjecting their project to EIA review. I want to thank the community for your presence, for hearing your views. I want to thank all other people present at this review for their presence. We hope that by the end of this program, we will have a very good report and a project that will be sustainable in the environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me have the mic. So, Mrs. Lucy, you are discharged and acquitted to go. We hope that we'll see you again. Maybe during impact monitoring exercise, if your project sailed through to have an approval, or maybe you come with another brand new expansion or bigger project. We hope to see you again. So you can take your leave now. As you go, I think they have lunch, Abby?
Yes, sir.
I think I was told that you still have a lunch package that you can take home if you still have appetite. And then community, we also want to thank you. We can also excuse you now because the session we are going into is a closed door session for the panelists to decide on the proposed project EIA report. Thank you very much. Secretariat. Oh, sorry, we need to take a group photograph with the community and then with the project proponent before you go. I think we're taking it outside, I think. Okay.
Kí ni ẹ ṣàtìparí program?